right, here we go, and I cannot believe it. We are back for another season of our FETC preview interviews, and I am so excited. This is my fifth FETC, and I'm excited to be back in Orlando. In the last couple of years, we had a chance to go to Miami and New Orleans, and New Orleans was fun, but I always liked Orlando. It was the first place I went, it's the first place I met a lot of the individuals I have a chance to connect with, and it's just kind of like home base for me for FETC. So I look forward to traveling down there, and it's always exciting to meet the presenters before, hear some of the great things they're doing, and there was no better way to kick off this kind of preview. And we're also going to be live at FETC for 2 days running the Stronger Together podcast, but to have Eric Curts come on, one of our featured speakers, one of the individuals whose session, and a little tidbit, the picture at the beginning here with the packed full house of 2 rooms was the session I was in for him last time in Orlando. It was awesome to see some of the work, because that's definitely one of the things that we don't get to do often is be a participant. And I like to pick some of the individuals, and you are one of them that I like to go see. So welcome in.
Well, hey, thank you so very much for having me. It's an absolute pleasure to be here with you again. And yeah, I can't believe it's time for FETC. I'm so excited to be heading back down. I'm originally from Florida. I was born in Tampa and lived in Lakeland in Central Florida till around 6th grade. And then the family moved to Ohio. But I still have some family members back in Florida. So it's always great to head back down there and get to see where I grew up, but also It's a wonderful chance to connect with so many amazing people.
Absolutely. One of the things I've always said, if you don't follow Eric, make sure to check out his social media here, and I'm going to throw some sites up in a minute. I see many people logging in. If you have questions as well, make sure to throw those in there and I can pull those up. But one of the things I've always said about FETC that is one that inspires me is that it's people who are doing the work. There's many tracks, from coaches to principals to leaders to technicians. I always like everyone coming together. For those out there who don't know you and your work besides at events, share a little bit about yourself and the work that you do in the field.
Absolutely. So this is my 32nd year in education. I started off as a middle school math teacher, taught middle school math for 7 years, loved that, but I also loved technology. So I stayed in the same district, but switched roles into the role as a tech coach or a tech specialist. And I did that for another 14 years at that district. So after 21 years at that district, I moved to a regional service center. I still serve that same district. I just serve about 35 districts now in Northeast Ohio. So that's my day job, working as a regional tech trainer. So basically, I provide professional development to those school districts. And then on the side, I do my own consulting business and travel around the country, working with schools and conferences and organizations all over, doing training on, used to be mostly Google things. Now it's pretty much 95% AI. It seems like every session I'm doing is an AI session, although at FETC, I've got a nice blend of AI sessions and Google sessions and other things like that. So that's my career as far as technology goes. Outside of that, I'm also a proud grandpa. I got 2 amazing grandkids, Gavin and Morgan, and lots of neat hobbies and interests as well. But anyway, yeah, there you go.
That's great. And I think that's the important piece for me when we go to these events, that you're hearing from people who have experience in the field. You're hearing from people who have done this work, who've tried some things, who have failed at a few things, who've learned from that and shared more. Because for me, when we leave that Friday, we're going to be back at work on Monday.
Absolutely.
And I think that is what is so important about everybody coming to an event, especially the size of FETC, but the amount of experience that's out there is amazing. And you've been a veteran of the event. Do you have any tips for first timers?
I guess it's all the normal things, have nice shoes that are comfy because you might be going a long direction to get somewhere. Bring water, things like that. I guess it's a lot of the things. Realize that you're going to learn some amazing things at the session, but it's also about connecting in between the sessions and afterwards, and going to the mixers at night, getting time to talk to people that do the things we do, not just in the sessions, but it's the whole time. And that's what I love about it. There's, lots of great ways to be able to learn, even if you're not in a particular session. And don't forget the vendor floor. Oh my goodness.
Right.
So, I mean, you could spend so much time there just talking to these awesome vendors and the products they've got, or again, connecting with people on the vendor floor, even if it's other people that are attending. So, I guess what I'm saying is, if you look at the schedule and you can't quite find something at a certain time, or you're not able to get into something because it filled up or whatever, there's always, always, always ways to continue your learning experience while you are there.
That's awesome. And before we came on, you were sharing something that you do to help people connect and help people come together. I'd love for you to share what that is, that resource, as we talk about
Sure
learning
thing.
together and bringing people together. That's something that you do.
Absolutely. So I started, I think, last year doing this. It's nothing fancy. It's really simple. It's a Google document that is editable by anybody. You can get to it at bit.ly/FETC24-share. So that's the link. I'm sure we can throw it up there for folks. bit.ly/FETC24-share. And what that does is it gets you to a Google document. And that Google document is editable. Anybody can edit it. And it's got different sections in there that people can fill in as much or as little as they want. So there's a section for attendee information. If you just want to put your name down that you're going to be there, that's great. If you want to put some contact info, some people add their social media handle or something like that. And so as I'm looking down right now, there's, dozens and dozens of folks who are filling this out, who are saying, okay, I'm going to be there. Here's the dates I'm going to be there. Here's my social media. Then there's a section for session resources. If you're presenting a session, put that in there. If you attend a really awesome session, put that in there. There's a whole section in there for mixers, events, and meetups. So if you're like, what do I do in the evening? There's always things going on. We'll be adding more and more as we get closer to the date that'll allow you to sign up for vendor, mixers and meetups and things. There's a spot in there for restaurants, attractions, things to do. There's a spot for questions. And then there's just an other comments or resources section in there. So people can jump in that document between now and the conference, add things in, connect with others. It's just another nice way, especially if you don't quite know what to do while you're there, who to connect with, or what things to plug into. It hopefully makes it easier for people as they're coming to such a big event to have something like that. So yeah.
No, and I think it's such a great resource. I'm going to put you to work now. I don't know if you could copy that and put it into the private chat here, and
I will absolutely do that. I'm copying that link right now, and I'm dropping it into the private chat right now.
And this is live podcasting and how technology works.
Absolutely.
And I think if nothing else, this is how it works within the session. If you have a question, ask. If you want to know something, I always say to the participants who come to the sessions, you're paying to be here. What do you want to get out of this? And I think that's important. And to dive in, I couldn't even. It takes 3 screenshots to get some of the work that you're doing. So I'd love for you to talk a little bit about here's your first day. So before the pre-conference, we have multiple sessions here. So if somebody's there on Tuesday, feel free to check out one or all of these sessions. You're going to be going all day long.
Yeah, Tuesday is going to be an interesting day. Those are workshop sessions. They're 2 hours long each. And I haven't quite decided how I'm eating lunch yet. So I'm going to have to figure out how does lunch work, because I don't know that one yet. But I'm going to be doing a session. They're all googly type sessions that day. I've got one called Beyond the Slideshow, where it's all about creative ways to use Google Slides. There's one called Docs Rocks, same thing, creative ways to use Google Docs. There's one called Chromebooks Can Do That, a deep dive into all the awesome things you can do with Chromebooks. And then a session on Google Sheets that's more of a if you're uncomfortable maybe with sheets, you don't really know all, like, I think spreadsheets look valuable, but I'm not sure what to do. It's going to
Mhm.
take you from 0 to 100. We're going to cover all kinds of, tools and features inside of spreadsheets. So by the time we're done with it, you'll feel way more confident using spreadsheets. So that's day one, 4 back-to-back workshops. Yeah.
Yeah, and I always like to go to Eric's sessions because one of the things that you do that I don't necessarily do is a lot of how tos. So I learn a lot of how to do certain things
Sure.
because the way you present is just very thorough and it's you take it in and you can implement it. So I really appreciate that. If you haven't taken a session, make sure to do that. If you're not there on Tuesday, because I know that's the pre-conference
Yeah.
workshop. Wednesday you have a couple too as well.
Absolutely.
Tell
Yeah.
us a little bit about these.
Sure thing. So Wednesday, I start off with Google Tools to support all learners, which focuses on accessibility and accommodations, tools from Google or tools that play nicely in the Google ecosystem. So we deal with loads and loads and loads of third-party extensions and tools, things for text-to-speech, speech-to-text, readability,
Mhm.
reading comprehension, behavior, focus, organization, lots of tools to support all learners because we all can benefit from those support tools. So accessibility, accommodations for all people. Then I'm doing a session,
Hipster.
my hipster Google session, but it's a
Yeah.
showdown. So this is with my great friend Patrick. He and I
Yes.
did the same thing last year. We're back again this year. Basically,
Oh,
it's
sweet.
lesser known Google tools, and we go back and forth 1 minute a piece, just to share. Here's an awesome tool. Here's an awesome tool. And so we'll run through 10 each. And then we've got a list of maybe another 50 or 60. And throughout the session, people can vote on the other ones they're interested in. And so we'll share our 10 favorite each, and then we'll see what people are interested in. And then we'll share those ones that bubble to the top. So you're always going to pick up some really neat new tools that you're like, I didn't even know Google made that tool. So
No, I think
that is going on that day as well. Yeah,
that's pretty
that's on
awesome. And
Wednesday.
then
Yeah.
on Thursday and Friday, a full session as well. What do you have
Yeah,
here?
yeah. So we start getting to the AI things there. So Thursday we start off with the Bard's Tale, which is focusing on Google Bard, but also all of the Google AI tools. So a deep dive into everything you can do with Google AI. I do have one booth session that has snuck in as well. I'll be doing a book creator booth session that day. Then later on in the day, I'm doing the ABCs of AI, what educators need to know. So it's ABCs: A, all about AI; B, the benefits of AI; C, the concerns of AI. And so it's basically going to get you where you need to be. It's a nice 2-hour deep dive into
Wow, that's great.
everything you need to know to get going with AI in schools. And then I round out that day with Super Tutor, which is an AI
Yeah.
session that focuses on AI to support learners. So in the same
Mhm.
vein of the earlier session, we talked about tools to support learners. This one is an AI focused one. So it's tools that are out there that can help support our learners. Fantastic session there. And then Friday, I've got one more AI session, which is, yes, even you can code with AI. So if you've
Perfect.
never done anything with coding, if that's not your thing, you're the right person for this. That's what it's meant for. If you say, I've got an idea, I'd like to do this, but I don't know how to begin, we'll show you how to use AI to help you do coding. Lots and lots of examples. Will be very hands-on with that. And then I do have a meet the author booth at the end. The last thing I do on Friday before I take off back home is the meet the author booth. I do have my Control Alt Achieve book. I probably got one on the shelf here I could grab here off of there. So yeah, my Control Alt Achieve book, which is a collection of just dozens and dozens of creative ways to use Google tools, doc sheets, slides, drawings, things like that. And so I'll be there with that book. Feel free to pop by, and of course I'll have them with me the entire time that I'm there, so you can grab them at any point. But that'll be another chance to say hi.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you couldn't catch a view, make sure to check this out. And on down below as well is the website that we had talked about earlier, the Google Doc, to share all that. So that is a packed schedule.
Yes.
Now, one of the things that always I try to, maybe it's just selfishly for me asking these questions, like where do you find the time to learn some of these new technologies, some of these new strategies? Like, what is your process to learn new skills?
Absolutely. Well, I mean, usually it is diving into it. Now, thankfully, this is my job. So I do understand if somebody's like, hey, I'm a math teacher, I do math all day or something else. Where do I find time? This is my job. I'm a technology professional development trainer. So this is my job. So I don't want to make anybody feel like I am finding magic hours somewhere. I mean, this is what I do. But really it's diving into it. It's learning by clicking the buttons and seeing what the buttons do. It also involves connecting with as many awesome people as I can so I can learn from others. Like when I go to do a presentation, I never say, I'm so happy to be here today to present to you. I say, I'm happy to be here to learn with you, because I always learn from the attendees. I'm like, I want to pick up something from you. So by the time this AI session is done, I want 3 new tools I didn't know about, and people they share with me and I pick up awesome ideas that like add that in. And so I've just got a Google Doc with resources to explore, and I just keep throwing them in and I go, okay, that's the next thing. I've got to just take a couple hours. I'm going to do a deep dive into that tool and come across just so many amazing things. The amount of things that have developed in the last year, I've never seen the pace of technological advancement. This last year has blown my mind what is getting created out there. So it's everything I can do to try to stay up. And you're not going to. I mean, you're never going to know everything, but you do your best, And so I'm so excited to share the things that I've learned with folks.
Yeah, and I think that's really important to share for the viewers who are watching, who will watch on repeat, to have a strategy to collect all of these resources. Either, you were saying use a Google Doc, or if you use notes on your phone, if you use, Wakelet, Padlet, whatever it is, insert tool, learn one at FETC, whatever it is. I know that it is such a hustle and bustle, and it's go, go, go. If you get to Friday and you're like, what did I do? You're missing out. So that is definitely a strategy that I try to share. Like, have a process that you're going in with.
Absolutely.
You can collect this and bring it back with you and implement it really fairly quickly. So one last question for you. Do you have a favorite FETC memory of the times you've been, or anything that you've had an opportunity to do at any of the FETC programs?
Wow, that's a tough one. I guess, for me, I'm not going to be able to specify one. I've been coming for so many years now. It's been a really long time. I think for me, it's just the fact that I'm from Ohio and it's late January, and to be able to walk around in a t-shirt and sit outside at night and hang out with friends and talk to people. That is FETC to me. It's my midwinter break where I get to have just an absolutely wonderful time learning and not wearing a coat for 4 days. So
there you go. And I, thank you for all that you do for the profession. One last thing I want you to share about. Your website is scrolling down below.
Yeah.
If you go to the website, you'll see this great resource or resources they're always there. If you want to just, because after FETC, you can still continue to learn from Eric. And
absolutely.
Feel free to share a little bit about what that landing page is all about, or the site in general.
Control Alt Achieve is my blog. And so that's the easiest place to go to kind of find everything in one place. So that's where I put my blog posts. That's where I, link in my training videos. You can sign up for my newsletter there. There's links to sign up for the Facebook group, the email group, all that stuff. It's kind of like just a one central hub for anything that I create. It's going to show up on Control Alt Achieve. You can also sign up to get new blog posts emailed to you automatically. There's, lots of options to connect, whatever works best for people. But in the years past, long ago, I used to have 5 different websites for all these things. I don't know, six years ago or so, I said, let's just put it all. Well, I had a problem. I kept oh, this sounds like a fun domain name. And so I'd buy another domain name. I finally just pulled everything together and said, this is it, Control Alt Achieve. And the whole idea behind it is, for those of us who've been doing this long enough, we know Control Alt Delete is to reboot a frozen Windows computer. And the idea was Control Alt Achieve is about rebooting our classrooms. It's about sometimes we get stuck in a rut. Sometimes we're doing things the same way. Let's see how technology can help us reboot education. How can we try this a new way? And so that's really what the site focuses on, is using technology to help with curriculum, to help with learning, to help with creativity, communication, all those kind of things.
Awesome. Well, check all of that out. Make sure to see Eric if you're down in Orlando. If not, make sure to check out the website and continue to learn. And thank you for all that you do. I look forward to seeing you in Orlando.
Well, thank you as well. We really appreciate everything you do, and thanks for letting me be a part of this, and we will see you soon.
Awesome. And continue to tune in. We have Phil Hintz coming up right after here, and then we have individuals and presenters all the way up until January 22nd. And then you'll see us live on the Orlando floor at FETC. So Eric, we'll see you there. Safe travels, and we'll talk soon.
Absolutely. All right, take care.